Now, hi everybody. Happy Tuesday. And I'm actually considering putting this down on the calendar as Let's Talk About It Tuesday, depending on what you decide or respond back to me. So I appreciate your response, and thanks to your response in the group, I have basically taken the time to, number one, stay accountable to my goals and then be able to come in here and serve to the best of my ability so that we can together succeed and level up and conquer our goals in 2020. And the goal here is, I know that I mentioned, my focus this year is to truly tackle nutrition by using our tracking system to, like, if it's my business, right? Because we've already understood that fitness is something that, yeah, we can do it, but no matter how often we do our workouts, if we don't tackle nutrition, we're really not going to focus or see results. So the focus is, number one is mindset, number two is nutrition, and yes, we're bringing in fitness because as a whole, that's where we're going to see success. So I'm going to start off by sharing with you the fabulous news that I have been held accountable to my nutrition. I said I was going to be tracking. Week 1 was a full fail, and I shared that with you. I just tracked January 8th, and then I didn't track again until January 13th. So, of course, I feel accomplished because we are on day 2 of week 2. And guess what? I have tracked for the past 2 days. So this has been a successful week so far, even though it is a short week. All right. But the truth of the matter is that there is power when we track. I know for me, for example, today, I was a little bit on the emotional end, and I also was hungry. I had to stop at Trader Joe's, and immediately it triggered, okay, I know they sell these amazing platanitos, which are like little plantain chips that I love, and they're my weakness. So I'm like, absolutely, I'm hungry, I'm gonna get one when I get there. And the first thing I do is I pass that aisle entering into Trader Joe's, and I said to myself, damn man, but it's day 2. How can I write that in my tracker? It's not gonna look good. So it kept sticking to my mind, and I'm like, I'm stronger than this, I can do it. I kept talking to myself, like the self-talk, and I went about my business. I didn't pick up the platanitos because if I put them in the cart, I was going to eventually eat them. So I went ahead and I did what I needed to do, and I went around and I picked up platanitos. And I was like, I'm going to get one for Joel. I'm going to get the jerky one because he likes spicy things. I don't like spicy things, so let me just take the jerky one. And then I said, damn, but if I take it in the car, I'm going to probably eat one. I said, what can I have here? I was hungry, and it was like I was in that time frame where I didn't have enough time to come home and eat something, so I needed a snack. So I was like, what can I have as a snack? And I saw these kale chips, and they had like cashew something, and it's some type of cheese. So I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm going to be very honest. I put it in, and I put, of course, the platanitos in the trunk. And then I took the kale right in front of the seat, and I opened it, and I said, I'm going to eat it because if not, in my head, I know I have the platanitos in back, and I'm going to have them. First bite of the kale chips, I was like, damn, I must much rather be eating chips right now. But of course, I thought, I am committed to my goals. Number 1, right? I'm committed to my goals. Number 2, I'm committed to my tracking system. How good are those kale chips gonna look on my trackers? That is the reason why I ate half the bag of my kale chips, and that brought me home, which helped me make my lunch, and I enjoyed it. I devoured it. Also, I failed because I didn't bring water with me. If I would have had water, I would have avoided the whole idea of having the platanitos because I would have remained hydrated. Okay, so now that I said that, I celebrate the fact that I am seeing loss in my journey so far, right? doing the workouts. I'm sticking to my nutrition as best as possible. But while I wasn't tracking, I wasn't seeing a change. The moment I start to track is when I see change. So I have to be very honest with you. Tracking works, but I cannot be kind of vague when I track, specifically because I'm creating my blueprint. My sister uses the word blueprint a lot, and I understand it. But if I were to give you this book and you were to do the same thing, you should be able to look at it and be like, I understand what she did. It should be detailed enough so that when you look at it 2 months down the road, you understand what helped you lose the weight. Okay? So for me, I'm being very specific. And what do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, in my breakfast yesterday, which is very good, by the way, I had 1 whole grain waffle, but I wanted fruits. But I know that I can't have, because it makes me gain weight. If I have 2 waffles with fruit and eggs, that's too many FFCs or too many yellows at once. So what I did was I divided that. I took 1 whole grain waffle, 2 strawberries, and that was my FFC, or for those of you following the Ultimate Portion Fix, that was my yellow. I did 2 eggs over easy, and I sprinkled everything but the bagel. And of course, at this point, I'm abbreviating, and I use 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. I had coffee with 2 tablespoons of almond creamer. And that was my breakfast. For lunch, I had, which I had not been able to prepare anything. So this is an answer to a lot of us who have meal prep issues. I was not able to prepare anything. Monday was very busy for me because it was the day it was like my official Monday back home, and I had a lot of work to do. So I took a sweet potato bag, steamed it in the microwave for 8 minutes, and it had like it had about 8 mini, like I call them mini because they were about this size, sweet potato. I had meatless meatballs from Trader Joe's in the freezer, and I took 6 of those, which is a serving of protein. And I had a frozen cauliflower stuffing that I had left over from Thanksgiving time. It was in the freezer. So I cooked that, and that was my lunch. I was concerned because the cauliflower stuffing had cranberries. So I thought, damn, the cranberries are FFCs, or they act as accessories, or they act as like sugar. So maybe that's gonna not help me lose the weight, because I also had the sweet potato. But I noted that, like, think of that, right? And I looked at it. I was like, maybe. Then for snack, I had my Shakeology, but just with water. I didn't add anything. No spinach, no kale, no almond milk. Just plain old ice and water. Hi, Onise. How are you? And then for dinner, I made steak encebollado, like steak for the kids. I did rice and I did beans for them. I also did a delicious salad that they love. Well, Joelle prepared it, and they had the full salad. I took extra spinach and kale, and I added that to the salad mix, and that's what I had for dinner. I am noticing that my breakfast starts at 10 in the morning. So for the past times that I've been tracking, right? So since the beginning of this year, every time I have breakfast, it's either at 10, 10:30, or 11. Every time I have lunch is anywhere between 12 and 1 o'clock. My snack, I'm not having snacks every single day. Like on the 8th, I didn't have a snack. Yesterday, I had a snack. Today, I didn't have a snack. I am noticing my dinner is around 7:20, and it's also, I didn't jot down the time for the other time. So my dinner is at 7:20. 7:20. I know I don't eat dinner at 8 because that's usually the time we're washing dishes. All right. So what does this tell me so far? I know a lot of people have asked the question of intermittent fasting, and I'm so grateful that I am part of the VIP bar blend group where Ilana Mulstein, the creator of To Be Mindset, and Elise, the creator of Bar Blend, had a conversation. And the question came up on the intermittent fasting. Does that really help? And I believe, well, I don't believe, I heard it from Ilana herself. And she says, well, the thing is, in To Be Mindset, we stop eating at a certain time, right? So let's say you stopped eating at 7 o'clock at night. You're not going to have breakfast. The idea is dinner and done. You're not having any snacks. You're not having any meals after your dinner. Therefore, you're literally getting into a fast, right? So you're not breaking the fast until you eat your first meal the following day. Hi, Jessica. How are you? So when I calculated that, I was like, I wonder how many hours I have been in a fast so far. So I put to calculation, I calculated my last meal, which was last night at 7:20, and my first meal today, which was at 10:10. So that is a total of 12 hours of a break or a fast. I didn't eat anything other than water or tea during that time. Then that means that at 10 o'clock in the morning, I started to eat. By looking at my tracker, it looks like I am eating every 4 hours. So I'm going to have a window open of 12 hours because a day has 24. So if I don't eat 12 and I'm eating for the other 12, I'm dividing those. I am on average not having a snack every single day. So when I divide my day, 12 divided by 4, 12 divided by 4, that would be, I would have 4 meals. That would be breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. I'm not doing that on a normal basis. I'm truly doing it as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I only had snack one day so far in the past 3 days. So I encourage you to do that when you're tracking. Since we're focused on tracking this week, go in and look at the time in your tracker. Like, at what time are you specifically eating your breakfast? At what time are you eating your lunch? At what time are you eating your snack? What time are you eating your dinner? And even if you have an after dinner snack or you're munching on things, write it down, because it's going to create your blueprint. It's going to help you understand you. And nobody can understand you better than you. And I can help. But if you understand yourself, then we can work through it, right? So today I noticed that I lost 3.2 pounds, which is a celebration, right? I have not been able to go down from the 159 on my scale since before the holidays. This is To Be Mindset that I'm going over. I am committed in my nutrition to Be Mindset, and in my fitness, I'm committed to Bar Blend. I will jump in to the portion fix in a bit, but I'm sharing my tracker so that if this helps anyone, please use the information. And I know that the video library for To Be Mindset goes much more into depth with this, and being part of the membership library as well. But I think that as a group, we can definitely grow and learn together and practice what we're learning, right? So I am completely devoted to it, and I'm sharing what I'm learning. So far, I have been sleeping 6 hours, which is also huge. I would love to sleep 7, but so far I am sleeping 6, and that's good for me. I'm able to lose the weight even with 6 hours of sleep. I am writing down my Bar Blend. That's really good because my mindset is automatically determined by the card I pick on the day. So today's mindset was, I am extraordinary. And I will go back into this tomorrow more, or not tomorrow, another time when I come in. I think Tuesdays would be a good day for us to talk about our trackers. Tuesday tracker day. I like that. All right. So, I already celebrated the fact that I didn't eat the plátano chips. Now, I want to tackle a few of the things that many of you commented or have been posting about in the group. And before I do that, because I said I would, Let's look into your tracker if you're following the Ultimate Portion Fix. Remember that these are available for you to print out inside of your Beachbody On Demand membership when you subscribe to the Ultimate Portion Fix system. If not, each program that you have in the Beachbody On Demand library has some sort of tracking system. So if you have Transform 20, you have the tracker that came with that. If you have 80-Day Obsession, you have the tracker that comes with that. As long as you go into your Beachbody On Demand, click on Materials, Resources, they're there. This one talks about your set. What are you, did you work out? For how long was your workout? Did you improve from the following workout? Rate your body, your nutrition, and your energy. So you kind of rate that. The To Be Mindset tracker is more about your mindset, hours of sleep, how much water did you drink. Extra credit is your fitness, and why was your day great? So celebrating the little things. This one is more into your emotions. How did food make you feel? So kind of like rating food and your relationship to it. And again, you're tracking your day and what you're eating, right? So that's with the trackers. And while we're on the topic of tracking, I know that the Bar Blend program, each program comes with their own booklet of nutrition. And I think it's useful to look at and dive a little bit deeper into the recipes, because many of us get bored very easily and we don't know what can we do and how can we eat. And there's a lot of quick tips and ideas that we can just grab. And I wouldn't go crazy about every single week doing one, but here's a very popular one that I've done, and it's so easy to make. You can make this, the cauliflower nachos. You can make it as a lunch if you add, like, it's a full-on vegetable platter idea, but if you add beans to it, you can make it into a lunch. So this could be a dinner, but if you add beans, you can make it into a lunch. So let's say, for example, Tuesday night, you have it for dinner. On Wednesday lunch, you can have it for lunch, because you can diversify it that way. There's also other options, and there's a lot of recipes here, but again, we have to invest a little bit of time and effort into going into those recipes and figuring out what is it that I like to eat and how can I be better, right? All right, so a lot of the things that we're talking about is that nutrition, I think, is the biggest problem that we face, but I think it's up here first, because immediately we hear nutrition and we put this, I can't do it. So today's lunch had no cooking involved. And actually yesterday's lunch didn't have any cooking involved, because I purchased the bag of sweet potatoes that you put in the microwave, and while that was in the microwave, I reheated the cauliflower stuffing in a pan. So convenience is food that comes from the freezer. You can easily just pop it in the microwave or put it in a pan and go to town. I'm a volume eater, so a bag of cauliflower stuffing from Trader Joe's is one serving for me. Like, I can't share that with you. I eat that all by myself, and I lost 3 pounds in one day. The meatless meatballs came from Trader Joe's, the freezer section, and I also did those in the microwave. So I would say it took me about 10 minutes to do my lunch. Today I did the bulgur rice, and basically I soaked it before I left the house early in the morning, and it took about maybe 2 to 3 hours to open up, and I drained the water. I made it into tabbouleh. I needed mint leaves, parsley leaves, celery. I drizzled some salt, took some fresh oregano, garlic that I had in the refrigerator, squeezed fresh lime, put all the herbs inside of the food processor, blended it with 1 white onion and red pepper, and 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Oh my God, that was so delicious. I blended everything together. I took, actually, I do use the containers. I took a yellow container because I am a volume eater. That means I eat a lot of food and I could never be satisfied. So in order for me, you could never under eat carbs, but you can always overeat it. So I used the yellow container to measure the rice, which is the tabbouleh, and I put it in my salad. And then I did, I believe it was 3 containers of greens. So I used cucumbers and tomatoes. And then I did the shredded cabbage because I like the crunchy one, with a little bit of carrots. So I did that. And honestly, instead of salad dressing, because the bulgur rice was already seasoned with the lemon and all of that, the salt and the garlic, I just needed the hummus. And the hummus is a healthy fat, but in this case, it acted as my dressing. So I did 2 tablespoons of hummus, and I just used the Sabra hummus container, and put it in the middle of it. And I had, I also bought a grilled, already cooked chicken platter from Trader Joe's, and I took a red container of that, warmed it up because I wanted a warm chicken, and it was delicious. It tastes like grilled chicken. Now, I made a note in my head. I'm like, when I want grilled chicken, I'm just gonna go to Trader Joe's and buy it. They have it already seasoned and cooked. No effort, truly. And that was such a satisfying meal. So the thing is, right, if in our heads we say it is hard, it is difficult, I don't know how to cook, I don't know what to eat, that is exactly what you're going to call upon you, and you're going to make it impossible to see results. But if in your mind, okay, I can make an effort to learn, I can, do, because this is important to me. Honestly, guys, there's only one life that we have, and we could fuel our bodies with pills and powders and all this other stuff that is out there, but eventually we're going to need the nutrients that comes from food, from whole foods. So that's my first encouragement to you is open your mind and be willing to learn and try putting nutrition first in your life so that all other things can fall into place. I know that the other idea is that we want to see results like this, but we have to understand we are it's easy for us to become very stubborn. If you guys have any questions for me while I am here, please feel free, because this is like literally I'm here for you. Yapa. She's here. The other thing is, right, we have this whole thing where a lot of us are struggling with putting ourselves first. And I think that's a normal struggle. I think we are overwhelmed and bombarded by wanting to be everything to everyone. And there's going to come a point when you're going to have to be so jealous and selfish about your time, your energy, and how you're spreading yourself apart. Because if, God forbid, your health was in jeopardy and you were no longer available to be there for others and to do the things that your job expects you to do, they're going to find somebody else to replace you. Because unfortunately, and it doesn't sound good, we are all replaceable. Honestly, the moment you don't show up to work, they will hire somebody else to take your place. The day you cannot be a mom, a wife, a sister, a friend, a daughter to your parents, they'll just scratch you off their list, and God forbid you're no longer here. They have to find a way to live without you. So in order for us to extend our quality of life, we do need to learn to practice and get stronger on the muscle that says no. No. And there's something called a calendar, and it's there for a purpose. There are 24 hours of the day, and it is absolutely unbelievable that in those 24 hours a day, you, the owner of your life, the one that has the power of your time, doesn't have the authority to say, no, I need to eat my lunch. No, I need like at least a 20-minute break for me. Maybe you want to take it to breathe. Maybe you want to sit down on the toilet and be at peace. Maybe you want to meditate. Maybe you want to wake up 20 minutes before anybody in your house just so that you can hear yourself think. But unless you take out those 20 minutes and you decide that those 20 minutes are yours and you protect and defend those 20 minutes, guess what? Nobody is going to come to you and say, hey, Mom, how about you take a break today? Because it's never going to happen. I don't know about you, but in my house, when my family sees that I sit, that's when they need water. And that's when all the mess is there. That's when all the things happen, right? But I have learned to, number one, ignore, and number two, voice my needs. I voice my needs and I'll say, this is my time. Or I announce, like right now, my daughter is here with me. She's right here next to me, but I told her I'm going to make a video in the group, so just give me this amount of time. I voiced my opinion. I will say to them at night, like at around 8 o'clock, I have a team call. I'll say, guys, tonight is an early dinner night because I'm going to be on a call later. So I am open in communication. Therefore, they respect that about me. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Marta. But if we just allow things and people and everyone to walk over us, eventually we're going to be depleted because we're not protecting ourselves and nobody else is doing it for us. Now, the day you fall in a bed and or no longer are available to service anyone, then that's the day you're no longer useful, and that's when you are replaceable. So I know it is harsh, but it's the reality of life. So I know that that's something that we're going to work on, and I promise that I'm going to continue to share more help and more ideas on how we can do this together, because I am also to blame and I'm also a work in progress. I think Eunice mentioned, or somebody said that they're good about tracking, but then they fall off because they forget to track. So the way that I'm doing the tracking is, number one, I'm not allowing myself to go more than 2 days without tracking. And I want you guys to hold me accountable. So on every Tuesday basis, I'm saying to myself, I should hold myself to this and go in the group and talk about my tracker, because it's going to force me to truly put words on that piece of paper. So having a buddy system, an accountability partner, is going to be indispensable. We're going to need each other, right? Number two, set alarms. So I have different alarms on my phone that remind me to do certain things. So one of them is my meals, right? If you forget to eat your meals, then set alarms for your for the meals at what time you should have them. The other thing is, set an alarm. Let's say if you're usually going to bed at 10:30, then at 10:15 at night, there should be an alarm that says, make sure you remember to write in your tracker, or write your tracker, or don't forget to write in your tracker. Something that kind of sparks off and immediately you have to write in your tracker. Another idea is, immediately in the morning, if that's the time you have more freedom, then do your chicken scratch, kind of like an idea on what you're going to eat during the day. And then at night, come and confirm that that's what you ate, cross off what you didn't, and kind of fix it up so that you have evidence of what you had. Another idea is take a snapshot. If you have an iPhone, I had not written something, I think it was yesterday, and I wanted to be very detailed. So I went back into my camera roll because I took a picture of my food, and it tells you what time you ate. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to know what time I ate, and it tells you the time when you take a picture on an iPhone. Not sure if it happens on an Android. So in order for you to hold yourself, and this is a habit, guys, it's not something you do on a natural basis. So it's something that you're going to have to work on forming. Okay? Take pictures of your meals, and then if you have to do a collage, do the collage, and then just post it in the group as your accountability. We do these things not because we want to be nosy, but these are tools that help us be successful. So if you notice that, we're able to see success, stop watching us and thinking that that works for her, that works for him, It works if you do it too. So don't second guess it, just do it, try it. And I would suggest give yourself a date. Like, I'm doing this for the next 60 days straight, not stopping. So just like I'm devoting the time to my workout, I'm also devoting the same amount of commitment to my nutrition. The other thing is we have a lack of consistency in general. A lack of consistency in our mindset, a lack of consistency in our nutrition, a lack of consistency in our fitness, a lack of consistency even in sticking to our goals. And I think there's this misconception that just because you want it, it's going to happen. But wanting it is not enough. We're going to have to put some effort behind it. We're going to have to look for different reasons why we want it. At first, it's going to look sexy. And what I mean by that is, when I looked at Bar Blend, I was like, ooh, I want to do that workout because Elise is body goals. Like, I want her butt. I want her waistline. I want her abs. I actually do really want her arms. That looks really sexy. Now, I'm on week 2. I'm on day 2. And I did booty blend. My ass was on fire. My inner thighs were on fire. My arms were shaking. I was like, this is supposed to be a booty workout. Why is she working my whole entire body? Now I wanted to curse her out. I didn't want to do the workout anymore because she's making me feel pain. And the first thing I do when you want to make me, and I don't like booty work. The first thing I do when things get ugly and burning, especially in a workout, I want to quit. And I started to think, damn, man, why is it that this has to be so painful? And then she said something. She said, think about a body part that you really love, or think about something in your body that you love, and then extend. And it was like a stretch or reflect. I was like, asshole. Like, now I have to think of something I like about myself so that I'm not thinking that I'm punishing myself. Why? Why am I saying this? Because, guys, it looks sexy on the outside, but once you start doing the work is when you start to second guess it. And that's when you really want to give up, turn around, and choose something different. But if you keep going, that's when you're going to see the breakthrough happen. And most of us turn around right before our breakthrough is coming. Most of us are on that little place right there where if you go one more level, you're going to touch success. But you haven't been courageous enough, brave enough to take that step because it's equal to work. It's equal to pain. It's equal to burn. And most of us run when that happens. But I'm here to remind you that when you go through it, you're going to welcome breakthrough and you're going to create the consistency that you are really craving for. And it's going to be the key that unlocks your freedom forever. And you're never ever going to be looking for diets anymore. And you're never ever going to doubt your ability to show up for yourself. Because you truly did break yourself in. And with all honesty, I think that is what has been lacking and missing on this journey. Our lack of consistency needs to increase, and it has to be with all of us, like I'm included. Because I have 60 days, right? And 60 minus... I've done only 7 workouts El Teatre. Yeah. 52. Yes. All right. The other thing is this whole idea of I don't know who was it, but somebody said something. My biggest struggle is I fall into cravings, the junk eating, the like the whole idea of I'm on track, but then all of a sudden, boom, I see a slice of pizza, I go for it. I see an Oreo cookie, I go for it. I see my kids, chocolate bars, I go for it. The minute you stop eating crap is the moment you're going to stop craving. You're going to reduce the cravings when you are eating less of the things that are producing the cravings. So I know for a fact that sugar attracts sugar. The more sugar you eat, the more sugar you want. And I know one thing I didn't know was that rice turns into sugar, that pasta turns into sugar, that beans turns into sugar, that crackers turns into sugar, that popcorn is liquid sugar, that beer is liquid sugar, that wine is liquid sugar. You get what I'm talking about? Yes. Okay. So the more I eat of those things that are sugar, the more sugar my body is going to ask. The more vegetables I eat, the more vegetables my body will crave. And you'll notice this, how your palate changes. Right after the holidays, we struggled really hard on getting back in because we perverted our palate and we started to eat all of the sugar stuff. When we eat all of the sugary stuff, that's what we're actually thinking about. And it's almost like drugs. Like we're constantly thinking about it because it gives us that hormone boost. Like, yes, you're giving me what I'm looking for. And honestly, when you start to eat salads, you start to crave salads. I know it sounds really raw and honest and weird, but it is the truth. If you want to stay on track, eat less crap. How do you know you're eating less crap? You're eating more wholesome foods. So, in the aisles of the supermarket, when you go, you stay on the outer perimeter of it. All of those things that are on the outside of the supermarket are mostly whole foods. You have all of the greens, all of the fruits, all of the grains on the outside. And then you have the proteins, you have some of the dairies, and of course you have the eggs and all of that on the other opposite end. You should kind of stay on that realm right there, right? And then if anything comes in a box, consider that something that you're going to treat yourself, you're going to plan for, you're going to use it with respect. So when you're planning your meals, you're using the crackers, the snack bars, the chocolate bars, the Nutella dips, I don't know what else, the cupcakes, the extra bite of this, the fried of that. All of those things, you're going to push them to the side because you're first going to have what's in your meal plan that is going to be whole and full and satisfying to your body, and it's going to be fiber filled, which is going to help you go to the bathroom. It's going to help you feel full for a longer period of time, and it's going to help you get closer to your goals without feeling restricted. Because the whole idea of us wanting to follow a program that helps us see results is because we want to see it for the long term. You're not here to see results today and tomorrow you give up. We're here for the long term. So I'm not here telling you that you're going to see a 50-pound weight loss in the month of January. I'm sorry, it's impossible. You will, though, however, lose anywhere. If you lose an average of 3 pounds per week, there's 4 weeks in a month. That means that you have on an average of 12 pounds loss in the month of January. If and only when you stick to the program and you do it how it was designed for you. And I am very honest with you, if you consistently follow your ultimate portion fix system, and if you consistently follow your to be mindset, both systems work if you put time, effort, and consistency behind it. So yes, that's that. Let me see, because I had notes. Make sure. Okay, another question we have is, these are pertaining not so much to the nutrition aspect, but to things that have to do with the fitness. So right now, we are in the middle of doing bar blend on the VIP access and the prep of the work. And if you already have access to 6 weeks of the work, you already have access to the prep. Some of you started the work in December, but never followed through with it because you said it was too hard. So my recommendation is stop selling yourself short and telling yourself that you can't do it. You can do it because you can do the modifications. And now you have the prep of the work. So you can actually do the prep, which is a 4-week program. It's about 30 minutes long, and you have a woman who is in her grandmother age, and she's doing the modification. So at least that was one of the routines I saw. You definitely have a modifier. He's going more in depth into the steps so that you can become familiarized with it. And you can choose to move on to 6 weeks of the work or move to something else. But it's something that you can try so that your money is invested in something that is useful. Now, if you want to try bar blend, a lot of people have underestimated the program. And I know that it seems easy, and I know that it doesn't break out a sweat like perhaps 80-Day Obsession would, or Mes de Mas does, or one of the higher intensity, higher impact programs does. This is a high intensity, like a high impact, but it is low intensity. It is a different type of routine. So, like, I've never done pretzels. I've eaten a lot of pretzels, but I never had to do a damn pretzel with my legs. That shit hurts. But it also works parts of my body that I had never worked out before. She also works on stability. She works on flexibility, which brings me to the point of, I didn't know this, but I learned because I am part of her VIP group, and someone asked about the hamstrings and how tight they feel and how tight the hips feel. So she said, if you are a person who is normally used to doing heavy lifting and lots of cardio, you're a runner and you're more of like an athletic kind of jumper, your hips and your hamstrings might feel tight because they're not used to that type of rotation and movement. So I said, damn, she's talking to me. Because for the time I've done Beachbody, I have leaned more towards workouts that are intense, that are high in like high jumping and very intense in that form, because it makes you feel badass, right? But that's the reason why I am in such high pain in my hamstrings and my hips are not so stretchable, right? So the goal is that the more times that you do the workout, the better your flexibility will become. And that's why she makes us stand like on a foot and like really hold it. And if you notice, a lot of times we're like in a squat because we're working freaking entire body. Don't think that you're gonna just do booty day on booty day. She's obsessed with booty. So she does work your body in a different way. And people who have done bar blend outside of these programs say that it is an elongating workout. So it kind of like makes you lean out and define your muscles in a different format. So be patient. She did say that, which helps me look forward to this not so much. It's not only going to be a 30-minute workout. There will be times in which it's going to go up to 40. And even she says it's going to be hard. So I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to tell you that it is a workout that will challenge you. And remember that when something challenges you, it is definitely going to change you. Okay, now if you don't want to access the program and you want to wait until it's available on Beachbody On Demand, it will be available on Beachbody On Demand as of June 1st. Mari, because I said that I doubled up on some of the workouts, that gave an idea to a few of you, and you said, oh, I'm going to double up on my workouts. And you definitely can. We are all free to do what we want. And again, Elise explained that this is a body and a mind routine. So you very well don't necessarily need to take the rest days. And if at the end of a workout you feel the energy and you have the endurance to put in a second workout, go for it. It is intended to be done one a day, but if you want to double up, go ahead. I know I wanted to be up to par with the people who started Monday the 3rd, so I doubled up that past weekend, and that way I wasn't too far off. But I'm right on track. So I'm not here, like some days she has a 10-minute routine, and you can also very well do that one. Intimidation about the 2 pounds or less weights. I love this concept because yes, you're lifting 2 pounds, but if you think about it, you're lifting your own body weight because you're constantly on one leg, on one arm, on, balancing yourself. So you're literally carrying your own weight. So when you step on the scale, look at how much your body weighs and add that to the 2 pounds or the 1 pound. And that's exactly what you're lifting, which if you read into it, the body physique says that that's where toning comes in and that's where more muscle mass is developed. And that is my thing. So I really, truly appreciate you. And I do want you to know that I am taking notes. And I notice when you are asking questions, and I'm here to serve and to help all of us grow and level up in our journey. And this is a complete package. You can't work one area without paying attention to the other. If you want to be or have a complete transformation, you have to include them all. All right, my friends, I love you all. We will have our meeting of the Healthy Minds next Wednesday, as it is on the calendar. So set your alarms. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Nobody should be left uninformed or without support. All right? Love you.